So I'm Tom Kelly. I want to tell you a little bit about this bus and where it came from and why and so on. I owned one of these back in 1964 and went to California with it. So I decided, well, you know what, we're going to make this a Raven bus. I got this thing from a guy in Catonsville, Maryland. It needed a motor, needed to be repaired, which I did. I own a body shop, so it made it easy for me to get the materials I needed. And so I started making this a hippie bus. And that's why the front of it has a peace insignia on it. So it was going to originally be a hippie bus, and so as we went along, or I went along, I decided, well, you know what, the Ravens are coming into town. I'm going to make this a Raven bus. So I took it apart one piece at a time, took the doors off, took the seats out, and completely took it down to bare metal, sandblasted areas that needed to be sandblasted, and completely redid it in order to get it to the shape it's in today. This bus was painted 25 years ago in 1996. That's about when the Ravens were coming to Baltimore. And as you can see, the garage kept for 25 years, so that's why it's still in the condition it is. It almost looks as good as it did the day I painted it. I used the best materials that I could get to redo the bus. It's two-stage paint, urethane clear on top of it, which holds up, as you can see, indefinitely. It's been really good. It's been in the garage, like I said, for 25 years, so it's been well maintained, taken care of. Bus runs real good. It is a 67. It's not a brand new car, so it rides down the road like a buckboard. But it rides up and down the road just like it did when it was what it was in the day. But it's a great ride. I wouldn't be afraid to take it Ocean City or 4 or 5 hours away and not worry about it. But to drive it across country, I wouldn't want to do that. But otherwise, it runs well. Motor in this bus, when I bought it, it came without a motor in it, so I had to replace the motor. So when I bought the motor, I ended up finding somebody in New York that imported engines from Mexico. And this engine was brand new in a crate from Mexico when I got it, shipped, of course, through New York to Baltimore. And then I had a mechanic do what they needed to do the incidentals and put the motor in, and so that's been in here ever since. The motor probably doesn't have more than 5,000 miles on it, maybe. This bus sits in the garage and goes to football games maybe 10 times a year. Other than that, we'll take it to a bar when they're having a football game, or I just take it out and run it from time to time to make sure it's up and moving. But there probably is no more than 5,000 miles, I think, on this motor. As I said, the transmission, motor, all of it runs very well. So it's been a pretty good car and a lot of fun to play with. After I repaired this bus, the Ravens were coming into town, so I took this bus down with some friends to the stadium. As a matter of fact, one day we went down, we had 9 guys in this bus, and of course, all the beer we could possibly carry. So we go down to the stadium, and on the way, people are blowing the horns and going on as we're riding down the road. I was pretty shocked, to be honest. I had no idea I'd get any kind of real fanfare. But when we pulled into the stadium parking lot, the roof came off the stadium. People were just jumping up and down and yelling because it was the first home game at the Ravens Stadium. And when we pulled in this bus, there were just thousands of people just clapping and yelling and blowing horns and going on. So, which floored me. I didn't know it'd be that well received. But it's got a lot of history of a lot of fun with family and friends, and I actually hate to see it go, but I've had my fun with it, and it's getting to be that time for me.